So, to finance your project, always remember that to finance real estate or any real business is going to be a combination of equity and or what? Debt. You guys learned already some basic numbers of how to evaluate mortgages and income and everything. You're going to have equity partners, which could be your sellers, tenants, which we talked a little bit about, how you can have an actual tenant that is outgrowing their property, and you can bring them in with you as a partner in the purchase of another property. That's a really quick way to raise capital. And of course, you can have partners, a whole variety of them. As far as debt, well, you can still have the seller finance you in debt. You can talk to a bank, finance companies, individuals who will loan you money, and of course, mortgage brokers who can actually usually, depending on the broker itself, do a transaction where they can broker your note and finance you in a mortgage. All right, so these are some of the basic ways of financing a deal. Financing with equity. Dealing with sellers. The seller to stay in the deal that they already know and have liked, obviously, because they purchased it, unless the deal really stunk. Right? You reduce or eliminate the capital gains or any other issues because, again, you're transferred into another equity for equity. So typically, you don't have to worry about all the taxational issues that you would have when you sell a property. All right? Add stability to the deal for the purchase or for borrowing. The reason for it is because they've owned the property for a while. So if you go to the bank to refinance, typically it's easier when you have an equity partner who already owns the deal. Many times what will happen is, instead of you creating an entity, when you have somebody who's willing to do this and stay in the deal, is you can actually take ownership of their entity. When Gallup purchased his property, he basically bought the LLC that owned the building. That's the way he did it. That property right over there, that the Art Deco building we walked by today, that property would be the same deal. I can either do a joint venture and walk right in the deal. I can put a certain amount of money down. I can either bring a tenant basically and become a partner. I can raise some money to buy him out of a big percentage of the deal where he still remains. And all I do is just take ownership of his company. So much easier for me. It already has like 10 years of history. Pretty cool. So that's one of the ways that you do it. How do you approach a seller? It's fairly simple. I mean, you walk in there, have a conversation, connect, right? You build rapport, you know who they are, you build a relationship with this one, at least enough to be able to have this conversation and say, look, some of the projects that we work on, many times, the owners of the properties themselves like to stay in the deal. And we usually make it pretty lucrative for them. You can either stay in this deal in a format where we do a joint venture, we purchase the entity itself and just buy you out completely, or perhaps you're willing for some owner financing. What do you think would work best based on your plans? Let them tell you. If they don't want to do JV, oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, cool, no worries. I still want to buy a property, right? I'm still going to buy it anyway. But why not try? Because what if he says, yeah, sure, just walk in. This guy right here just basically said, dude, just come on in. Okay, thanks, man. Awesome. You wouldn't mind if I get that appraisal, do you? Oh, here's the information. Okay, cool. Do you wouldn't mind if I go and I talk to your property manager and get some information and get some reports? Dude, whatever you want. Okay. So now I can do my due diligence because technically we have an understanding that if the numbers make sense, I can just walk in this deal. And based on what you guys learned earlier, is that it's a pretty sound deal. Even at 4.3, right? So you can do this with sellers. Be confident. Understand that in commercial real estate, this is almost standard. You can present this, and I can assure you, they're not going to be like, oh my God, what is this thing about equity? Chances are that's what they did. Do you understand? So you have a great opportunity to come in here. Just be professional. Come with a game plan. Let them know that you're for real, and they will, for real, consider this opportunity with you. That's one way to do it.